Ayan. So, welcome sa part 2 ng ating discussion sa ating module 2. So, we now move on to defining precisely kung ano nga ba talaga ang mathematical sentence. So, the definition follows. A mathematical sentence is the analog of an English sentence. It is a correct arrangement of mathematical symbols that states a complete thought. It makes sense to us about the truth of a sentence. Is it true? Is it false? Or is it sometimes true or sometimes false? So, for example, the sentence 1 plus 2 is equal to 3 is read as 1 plus 2 equals 3. So, there is a complete thought being stated doon sa sentence na yan. So, kung tatanungin natin yung sentence, is it true or is it false? 1 plus 2 is equals to 3. In this case, the answer is true. So, it is answerable by true or false. Then, this sentence or this statement is a mathematical sentence. Okay? So, meron tayong dalawang primary ways kung paano tayo makapag-decide whether something is a sentence or not. Una, syempre basahin mo siya, no? Basahin mo. Hindi naman kailangang allowed na napakalagas, pero basahin mo. And ask yourself the question, does it state a complete thought? If the answer is yes, then it is a sentence. So, pangalawa, alternately, you can ask yourself the question, does it make sense to us about the truth of this object? So, basta pag nasagot mo yung true or false, kung answerable ba siya ng true or false, it is you can decide na it is a sentence. Pero kapag hindi naman siya answerable by true or false, it is just a mathematical expression. So, meron tayo examples of mathematical sentence and their truth values. So, una is x squared plus 2x. Ito. X squared plus 2x is equal to x times the quantity of x plus 2. Anyway, dyan lang yung sagot. So, the answer is true. Bakit nasabi nating true? Kasi take note, kapag sinimplify natin yung ating mathematical sentence dito, dinistribute natin yung x natin dito sa loob ng ating parenthesis, magiging x squared plus 2x is equal to, syempre, x times x, that is x squared, x times positive 2, that is positive 2x. So, x squared plus 2x is equal to, they are now equal, x squared plus 2x. So, this mathematical sentence is true. Pangalawa, x plus 2 is less than x minus 3. The answer is false. Pero bakit kaya false? Bakit kaya false yung sagot? No? Magbigay tayo ng value ni x. Let's say, for example, if x is equal to 2. Okay? So, palitan natin si x ng 2. So, 2 plus 2 is less than 2 minus 3. Okay, so, pag sinagutan natin yan, 2 plus 2 is 4. Less than 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Do you think this will be true? Or sometimes true or sometimes false? 4 will never be less than negative 1 because 4 is greater than negative 1. Therefore, the answer in our second mathematical sentence is false. Pangatlo, f of 2 is equal to 3. Dito naman sa ating pangatlo na mathematical statement, we cannot define or we cannot kung ano ba yung depende kasi kung ano yung function na given. Kung depende kung ang function ba na given ay 3x or ang function ba na given ay x plus 1. Mali. Okay. Baka naman ang given ay x plus 1. So, depende kasi yan kung ano yung given na function, no? Di natin alam. Di naman given kung ano yung function. So, we cannot define kung true or false ba yung ating state, yung ating mathematical sentence. So, ang sagot natin dito is sometimes true or sometimes false. Next, proceed tayo sa grammar. Grammar in the mathematical language. The grammar is the set of structural rules governing the use of symbols representing mathematical objects. So, observe natin na sa mathematics, syempre, hindi lang sa grammar, no? Hindi lang sa English grammar, but also in sa grammar in the mathematical language, meron din tayong rules na ifa-follow in translating from English language to mathematical sentence. Kagaya rin ng ibang mga translation, syempre may rules, di ba? This one is not without problem. So, may mga certain difficulties lang tayo na ma-encounter in the mathematical language. So, isa sa mga difficulties na ito ay yung paggamit natin ng word. Yung paggamit natin ng word na is. Okay? The word is could mean equality, pwedeng equality, pwedeng inequality, or pwedeng membership yung tinutukoy. Depende sa paggamit natin ng word na is. In a set, depending on how they are used in our sentence. Consider natin itong tatlong example. 5 is the square root of 25. 5 is less than 25. 5 is less than 10. And lastly, 5 is a prime number. Papansinin ninyo, pare-parehong gumamit ng word na is, no? Pero, iba-iba yung paggamit. Iba-iba yung ibig sabihin ng paggamit ng word na is dun sa tatlong example natin. Dito sa example natin na una, 5 is the square root of 25. Kapag translate natin ito into mathematical language or mathematical sentence, is, yung word na is, could replace, yung word na is dito sa first sample natin, could be replaced by equal sign. So, pag sinulat natin yan, 5 is the square root of 25. So, dito sa unang example, ang paggamit niya ng is ay equality. Pangalawa, 5 is less than 10. Okay? Yung paggamit naman niya ng is, word na is dito is completely it has completely different role. Hindi naman natin masabing equal sign na yung ibig sabihin ng is diyan, ano? Kasi the word less than 10 forms an adjectival phrase. So it is specifying a property na the numbers may or may not have. So, similar rin ito sa paggamit ng English sentence na grass is green. So, 5 is less than. Since less than, may word tayo na less than. Therefore, ang paggamit ng is dito ay ang inequality. So, pag translate natin yan into mathematical sentence, 5 is less than 10. And yung paggamit niya ng word na is ay inequality. Okay. And lastly, 5 is a prime number. As for the third sentence naman or example natin, yung word naman ng is dito means is an example of. Is an example of. Ang ibig sabihin niya na paggamit niya ng word na is dito sa pangatlo. Okay, this could also be a membership property. So, yung pangatlo, yung paggamit niya ng is ay membership. Membership yung paggamit niya ng is. Okay. So, pag sinulat natin yan in symbols, mathematical symbols, 5 is a prime number. Denote natin yung prime number as letter P. So, 5 is an element of P, or 5 is a member of prime number. 5 is a prime number. So, isang word pero magkakaiba yung pwede niyang kahulugan. Depende kung paano natin gagamitin yung word na is. Okay? O, yan yung unang difficulties na may encounter natin sa mathematical language. Sa pangalawang difficulties naman tayo. Sa pangalawang difficulties, a number in a sentence may be of cardinal, ordinal, or nominal type. Numbers in mathematics are treated differently based on how we use them. Here are some examples. So, we have A, B, and C examples dito. So, sa unang example natin, I saw the road sign AH26 when I traveled from Manila to Isabela. Pangalawa, Jonathan is number 26 in the mathematics class. And pangatlo, I gained 26 points from my recent purchase. So, kung mapapansin niyo dito sa tatlong example natin, pare-pareho silang gumamit ng number 26. Pero, magkakaiba yung gamit. Magkakaiba yung tinutukoy ng mga numbers nito. Depende dun sa paggamit dun sa sentence. Okay. Pwede nyo bang sabihin kung ano yung pinagkaiba ng tatlo? Okay? Sabi natin dito, a number in a sentence may be of, pwede siyang cardinal, ordinal, or nominal type. So, let us define these three. Pag dinefine natin tong tatlong ito, okay, ang cardinal numbers are numbers that are used in counting. Cardinal, counting. When it comes to ordinal numbers naman, are first, second, third, and so on. So, dito sa ordinal numbers, merong order. Yan, ganda ng sulat ko. Order. Pero pag sa nominal numbers naman, are not used for counting or listing. Okay, so cardinal, nagbibilang, ginagamit yung number as pagbibilang. So, ordinal, ginagamit yung number as ranking or merong order doon sa paggamit. And nominal, kung hindi siya cardinal at saka ordinal, syempre nominal na yun, no? So, unahin natin letter A. I saw the road sign AH26 when I traveled from Manila to Isabela. Ano kaya yung number na 26 na paggamit niya? Cardinal, ordinal, or nominal? Hindi naman siya nagbilang, di ba? Wala rin namang ranking sa paggamit niya ng 26. Ginamit niya lang yung AH26 dahil tinutukoy niya dito yung road sign. Okay? So, in this case, yung number 26 dito sa letter A was used to describe and distinguish the highway from other Asian highways. No? Hindi tayo nagbilang, wala siyang ranking. So, ibig sabihin, yung letter A ay nominal. Yung paggamit niya ng 26 ay nominal. Okay, pangalawa, Jonathan is number 26 in the mathematics class. Okay, itong pangalawang sentence naman natin, it tells us na yung number 26 is used to identify yung standing ni Jonathan doon sa mathematics class nila relative to his classmates. So, doon sa case ng letter B natin na example, meron tayong ranking. No? Kinoconsider dyan yung ranking kasi sabi niya pang number 26 si Jonathan sa kanilang klase. No? Thus, for this example, letter B, the number 26 is of ordinal type. Dito sa pangalawang example natin. And lastly, letter C, ito naman sa pangatlo, the number 26 is used naman to describe the literal number of points. Kung ilan ba yung puntos na nakuha or nakuha na-gain niya doon sa recent purchase niya. So, kung ma-observe natin, the use of a unit measures which is points, kaya naman, the number 26 dito sa letter C, the example natin, is of cardinal type. Kasi, ginamit niya yung 26 as counting. Nagbilang siya ng ilang puntos. Kung ilang puntos yung nakuha niya dun sa kanyang pagbili siguro ng appliances. Okay? So, ito naman yung pangalawang difficulties natin sa mathematical language. Yung paggamit natin ng number, pwede siyang cardinal, ordinal, at saka nominal type. And lastly, number 3, na difficulties natin is that the words, yung paggamit naman natin ng word na and at saka or, mean differently in mathematics from its English use. Let us consider the word, the mathematical sentence 2 plus 2 equals 4. Okay, as a sentence of English rather than of mathematics, try natin i-analyze yung ating mathematical sentence grammatically. Diba? Yung ating sentence ay merong nouns. Meron siyang actually 3 nouns. Ito yung 2, at saka 4. Ito yung noun dito sa ating mathematical sentence. Meron din tayong verb. Ano yung verb natin kanina? Ito yun. Diba? Equal sign. Verb natin. Meron din tayong conjunction. Tulad ko na lang. Yung ating plus sign. Letter C. So, bakit 4 yun? Ano ba yan? O, 3 na noun, isang verb, at saka isang conjunction na plus. So, kung i-observe natin, yung word na plus, ano kaya yung pwedeng, kapalit ng word na plus dito? Is it and or is it or? Diba? Kung mapapansin ninyo, yung plus dito, pwede natin siyang palitan ng and. 2 and 2 equals 4. Para bang magkatugma sila ng ibig sabihin na kapag dalawa at saka dalawa, ibig sabihin 4. You know, pwedeng 2 or 2 equals 4, di ba? Pero pwede natin gamitin yung word na and to replace yung plus natin dito na conjunction sa ating mathematical sentence. Okay? The standard example of, however, we also observe na it does not behave in the same manner kapag, let's say, ito example, another example. Mario, ang ganda ng sulat ko, wait lang. Mario and Dana love mathematics. Okay. Iba naman yung paggamit natin ng word na and dito sa sentence na ito. The verb in this sentence is yung love. Ito yung verb. Plural. While the verb in the previous sentence equals I singular. So, the word plus seems to take the two objects and produce out of them a new. So, while yung paggamit natin ng and dito sa pangalawa example natin, Mario and Dana, in a looser way, leaving them as distinct people. Hindi naman Mario plus Dana, di ba? we found out that conjunction and has two very different uses. So, kung gusto nating maging absolutely clear yung language natin, then kailangang maging alam natin yung alam natin na maging aware doon sa distinction ng paggamit natin ng and at saka or. So, may pang-apat pa pala. So, yung pang-apat na difficulties natin is that mathematical objects may be represented in many ways, such as sets and functions. But anyway, itong number 4 na difficulties natin, magkakaroon tayo ng separate discussion regarding the representations using sets and functions, no, dito sa succeeding topics natin, which actually yung susunod na discussion natin, i-discuss natin ang sets at saka functions. So, hindi na natin pagtutuunan itong pang-apat na difficulties natin. Okay? So, that's it for our discussion in this part 2 ng module 2 natin. So, meron pa tayong part 3. Huwag kayong matapos, ha? Meron pa tayong part 3. So, part 3, di-discuss ko yung 4 basic concepts naman natin. Okay? But this time, gusto kong sagutan ninyo. Open your modules, scan your modules, and answer the following learning activities from 1 to 5. And then, nakalagay na rin dyan kung anong page. Okay? Isulat yung mga sagot sa yellow pad paper. And mag-a-announce ako sa GC kung kailan at kung saan nyo ipapasa yung mga papel ninyo. Hindi nyo kailangang i-upload. Gusto ko ipasa nyo siya. Okay? Ipapakolek ko yan. Ipapasa nyo. Huwag nyo i-upload yung mga sagot ninyo. Kasi gusto ko nakasulat yan sa papel na ipapasa sa akin. Okay? So, that's it, and thank you for listening. See you sa part 3 ng ating discussion.